Hi everyone, welcome to another Team 17 podcast. No, it's not a podcast. Start again. Everyone start again. Team 17 live stream. We've just recorded a podcast, which is why I'm confused. We're here in our new office in Nottingham and our new live stream room. We need to do a little bit more DIY on this, but I think you'll agree it's rather nice with lots of merchandise in the background, including a little Raging Justice thing, which we might be giving away in a competition pretty soon. I'm here with Nick Makin, creator of Raging Justice, which is out today on Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the Steam version is PC and Mac, so 5 systems all launched in one day, ready to go. So we're just going to chill out, we're going to play a scrolling beat 'em up like it's the 90s, no coins required, and we're just going to have a good time, hopefully. Alright, let's begin. So, Raging Justice. Yeah, I'll be player 1. Don't think it makes much difference.
Probably not.
And the real question is, which difficulty are we going to play on? You can have Wimp, Normal, or Tough Guy.
I'll let you choose.
Normal. There's no shame in playing on Normal. But I have to be Ashley, because that's my name.
Fair enough.
I don't think there's ever been a beat 'em up where my name is one of the characters before. I'm pretty happy about that. Is Ashley a boy or a girl? Nobody knows. Bit like when I go to an airport in America. Right, we've got a brand new save file here, so you can't see the stages, but there are 9 of them to work your way through. Let's start at the beginning. Now then, what's different about Raging Justice compared to other beat 'em ups?
The first and most obvious difference is HD graphics. I mean, we've gone for an interesting style. I mean, we've tried to keep it a little bit retro, but something that looks kind of fresh and modern on a nice HD screen. Yeah, trying to keep it looking fresh.
And the characters, as we'll see in a minute, they're kind of rendered in 3D, but then kind of transposed into sprites, which I think might look unusual to some people. But if you're from the 90s, you remember that was actually a thing.
Yeah, pre-rendered artwork was a thing that almost became popular towards probably about 93, 94, something like that. They were starting to experiment with it as the computers got strong enough and powerful enough to render in 3D, but the consoles themselves weren't, so they pre-render the artwork and make the sprites from that. But then Sony came along with the PlayStation and ruined it all.
Probably most famously used by Rare, actually, who you used to work for.
Yeah,
so Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, they famously used it.
Yeah, so we're big fans of that era of Rare, and especially Jay, our artist on this. He just loves the style and wanted to see what he can do now, given the power of PCs these days, and the tools available for you that give you access to cloth physics and dynamics and all kinds of kind of high K and things like that, and see how far you can take it. And from my point of view as the programmer, it's great because I still work in 2D. I'm rendering sprites, the details in the artwork.
And as you'd expect from a beat 'em up, especially on this stage, lots of things to pick up. Got a baseball bat and knife, here's some dynamite. Yes, that worked out quite well.
I almost walked right into that.
There is friendly fire, there you go. But you can turn that off in the options, can't you?
You can do if you want, but it's more fun having it on.
But yeah, why would you? I love having lots of things to pick up. Hit 2 thugs at once using a baseball bat, you've just done that.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite early challenges, because it's relatively easy to do, but it still feels so good when you do it.
I love the kind of super text that comes up when you do it, and it says home run. That makes it feel a little bit more satisfying.
We try not to take ourselves too seriously in this game. It's about having fun, enjoying it, and being a little bit over the top. Such as that epic kill with a traffic cone.
Yes, very realistic. Right, let's see if I can get a home run. There we go.
Ooh. Got me with the cone. The rest this one.
So that's the arrest that you've just done there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how arrest warrants work?
Okay, so pretty much any enemy in the game except for the bosses can be arrested. In order to arrest them, you have to stun them first. Then you can arrest them. Why would you arrest them? Well, first off, you can take somebody out before all their health is done. So it's a nice way of clearing one of the heavier baddies later in the game. But the other reason is you get a health bonus.
And I'm a good cop.
And you're a good cop. So at the beginning of each level, one of the challenges we put out there is a good cop, bad cop challenge. So throughout the level, some of the baddies are called out as arrest warrants. You have the choice of good cop, which is arresting these arrest warrants, or bad cop, which is to weapon KO them. So depending on which way you go with that, you'll get a different bonus instead of just the standard coins. Bad cops, they get a better points bonus, but if you bad cop all the arrest warrants, you will get a shotgun. If you good cop them, you get an extra life, which is quite useful.
And that's on the following stage?
The extra life's awarded instantly.
Instantly?
The pickup. There's only one pickup, so if you're playing co-op, you have to fight over who gets it.
Oh, and I've lost a life, so I failed that challenge.
Oh, yes.
Never mind. I'm a heavy user of the spin attack, where it actually spins the rucksack around there, but it does take a little bit of your health off, unfortunately, as is usually the case.
This guy is best knocked down when he's on the floor by using the ground attacks.
Here we go, kick him in.
Kick him on the ground. But when he gets you got him again. Try and get him with the fire hydrant.
I also really like this dash move that actually has. There we go. Which if you manage to land it, I don't think it'll work on this boss, but if you manage to land it on
this guy's he blocks the dash. Oh, but I don't.
Sorry about that. There we go.
You kicked me then as well.
Well, collateral damage.
Can't be helped.
I don't think we'll play through the entire game on this stream. We want to leave some surprises for people, but we'll play a few stages, and maybe if we've got time, have a look at the brawl mode as well. So we can see there actually like a list of challenges that we have at the beginning of stage 2.
Yeah.
And the challenges are always the same, right? So if you completed these, it would show them as completed next time.
It would be, yes. On the level select screen, you can see which challenges you've done. Each stage, and each difficulty of each stage has a different set of challenges.
Right. Ah, okay. Very GoldenEye.
So in order to 100% the game, you've got quite a few challenges to go through, and they all play just slightly different. The challenges, they're trying to keep them more than just grinding. I wanted to give people the option of playing the game slightly different ways, maybe learn new techniques by trying to achieve the challenges.
Now I think if you remember Pit Fighter, this is a very familiar scene. Certainly that's what it reminds me of anyway.
It was definitely in my head when designing this. Pit Fighter was a game that I remember seeing in the arcades and just thinking it looked like it was going to be awesome. It played quite well, I think is probably the way of saying it. I have fond memories of it for just seeing it in magazines and wanting to play it. So I really wanted to make a kind of a showpiece in the game that felt like that Pit Fighter of all the crowd around you, and you have, you have a fight and the crowd join in and throw things at you.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, this kind of lives up to the promise of what those Pit Fighter screenshots would have given you. You know, to be surrounded by a huge crowd of people, and then they all do actually like attack you in real time. Amazing arcade gameplay. Using a lot of lives here. It's a challenge to talk and play at the same time. Jose Romero in the chat asks how many levels? 9. Is that right? 9?
Yeah, there are 9 story levels plus 4 brawl levels.
Ah, yes.
3 difficulties on the story levels, and tough guy is pretty tough. Or regularly finding people asking me for tips on Twitter at the moment for how to achieve some of the later levels.
And as we've said, lots of longevity, lots of reasons to replay the stages because of all the various challenges. And also online leaderboards, which I've been having great fun with this weekend with various YouTubers and what have you. Lots of great reasons to go back and replay stages to compete with your friends like you would have done in the arcades.
One thing we do, which we haven't really called out that much, is the level select screen. So on the level select screen, you can play any level you've unlocked, but you start each of those levels with your health, the best health that you've got to that level with. So rather than just starting with full set of lives, full set of continues, it's using your stats from your best previous playthrough. So when you eventually complete the game, it's as though you've completed it on a perfect run.
It's kind of like a save state in a way.
Yes.
We don't talk about save states. It's a different world. Jose says, I will buy it today. I really like this kind of game.
Good!
We like this kind of game too.
That's why we made it.
It's been really encouraging actually to see like so many people on like Facebook and Twitter, etc. And who just seem excited that there's a new scrolling beat 'em up coming out because they're not that common these days. So here we go, give him a kick on the floor.
You were saying before we had a technique for this, and you seem to have completely forgotten the technique.
I do have a technique, but I'm not sure I want to spam it.
I keep forgetting.
So I like to use Ashley's dash attack, which knocks these fellas onto the floor, and then gives them a good kicking once they're down there.
Unfortunately, there's two of us, so we get each other's way.
Yeah, in single player you can time it right, so you like knock them both down at the same time. Really control them like this. But you can't do this on every boss. A lot of them have like, the ability to block your dash move. Maybe we should talk about the character designs, actually. So we've got three characters, Rick Justice, Nikki Rage, and Ashley King,
Yes.
whose surnames all together make Raging Justice, sort of. Rage King Justice.
We did think of just having Ashley Ing, but it didn't sound right. Even though apparently it is a proper surname.
I think Ng is NG in Asia, certain parts of Asia.
Yeah, so
Might not look right on this particular character.
yeah, we've got the three different characters. They play slightly differently. Rick is the one I usually pick. He was a bit slower. He's more muscle, more power. Nikki Rage, she's got the kind of the balance just right with her between speed and moves and strength. And then the kid, Ashley, who is much faster, brilliant for combos, for getting that high score, but it takes a lot longer to beat through all the enemies.
I managed to get a 100 hit combo at the weekend, which I was very happy with. You don't get that on one single person, of course. I think it's, from what I understand, it's more about landing hits without taking any consecutively. Is there a timer on that? Does it like cool down?
It does. You've got a certain amount of time before it resets, so you got to try and keep those hits live. Every hit against every enemy. So if you hit two people with the same hit, that would count as two for the combo.
Right.
But yeah, it's the difficult part is keeping it alive between waves of baddies, or just avoiding being hit by TNT or thrown weapon. Because the baddies will use the weapon if you leave them alive.
Oh, here come the dogs. And some men in a van.
Dog. You can only kick the dog because I think, although actually it's not low down enough that they can probably punch as well. Rick and Nikki are definitely their fists are too high to hit the dog. Different technique.
We don't come down kicking dogs in real life.
No.
Only nasty video game drugs.
This is all make-believe. No animals or people were hurt in the making of this video game.
I was hurt. I had to do a lot of community management. It was a real strain. What's going on in the chat? Hi Team 17, I love your Worms series. Will you make Worms Battlegrounds for last gen consoles? That's not about raging justice. We'll have to get back to you on that. We'll leave a comment in there about the availability of Worms Battlegrounds. It's on a few systems. It was on PS Plus not so long ago. Might have missed out on that. Gary is saying that the game just unlocked on Steam. Brilliant. So it is now out on all systems as of right now.
Excellent.
Okay, here's this guy dressed in Team 17 purple.
The purple wizard.
I think he was dressed like that long before our involvement. It's not a statement on us. So we've got to wait for this guy to stop spinning. Yeah. A bit of detail. Oh, sorry. Get me spamming that move again. And then he calls his cronies out, which reminds me, the way he does this reminds me of, there's a boss at the beginning of Final Fight. He does the same. He like sits on a wall.
Damned?
Yeah, damned.
Definitely one of the things in our mind when we look at this guy.
Yeah, I'm sure you must have played Final Fight.
Once or twice.
Now, we probably shouldn't show more than 3 stages, but I do really want to show the next one because I believe that has lawnmowers, not tractors, right?
Yeah, tractor level.
We've got to see some tractors.
Challenge failed. 2 of us couldn't defeat him. Only just failed as well.
Oh, we've got an achievement.
We did.
So there are full achievements in the Steam and Xbox versions, and trophies on PS4.
50 of them on.
50 and a platinum trophy.
A platinum trophy on
Good.
PlayStation.
Our community manager KA will be pleased with that. He only plays games that have a platinum trophy. Okay. Am I right in thinking this is the stage with the tractors?
Yes.
Am I going crazy?
No, this has got a tractor in it.
Brilliant. It's nice how actually the beginning of this stage continues on from the end of the previous one. It feels very kind of natural and organic to make that journey.
The game has to fit within itself. As much as it's a video game, we're not keeping things serious. We do try and keep a style and a flow through the levels, through the stages.
Okay. Now, if you've ever played a Streets of Rage game, it's going to be familiar. It always used to catch me off guard in the old days. Jump and kick.
Jump kick is the way. Provided you can get the time. There we go. I'll finish him off.
Some spanner. I'm not sure what the ethics are of cops taking the money that the criminals leave on the ground.
Contraband, you're taking it back to the precinct.
Oh, of course. Of course we are.
Yeah.
We're good cops.
Unless we're a bad cop, at which point all bets are off.
Oh, there's the tractor. And there's a challenge associated with the tractor as well, isn't there?
Yeah. You want to get the tractor?
Let's give it a whirl. Yes. Here we go. Oops, sorry. That girder to fall with me. Whoa! Going fast into the... It looks like the tractor might blow up at any second, but we'll stay on it. What did the idea of making the tractor blow up come from? I mean, presumably that's because you don't want it to last the whole stage.
Yeah, it was to try and make it a showpiece that didn't last. You know, you couldn't just use it to climb through and then get to the boss.
It actually reminds me of a classic game that's not a beat 'em up, which is
Bombing Simulator?
Metal Slug.
Ah, Metal Slug.
Yeah, when the tanks would run out of health and they blow up, you had to jump out of them before they blow up.
Were they called the Metal Slug?
That was the Metal Slug, the tank. Oh, the dog got me. I was looking at the chat. That's my excuse.
It's a good excuse.
If you are watching live on YouTube, drop us some questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. My Xbox and me says hi, Nick.
Hey,
Now, in the bio for Ashley, it says that he learned a lot of his moves from watching martial arts movies. Which makes sense, because Ashley's a kid. I think I said he then, didn't I? That was very naughty of me. Ashley may or may not be a he or a she, we just don't know. But if you hit the kick button enough, you might see the famous move from Karate Kid, which I quite like. Busted. He's done. That was money.
It's a boss I find quite difficult.
Yeah, this is a tricky boss actually.
He's a good one for one of the achievements though.
So what's the achievement on this guy?
The achievement that's a good one to get with him is I think it's called taking out the trash.
Right.
KOing the boss with a bin.
Alright, so we'll leave the bin till the end. See if we can do it.
He's quite aggressive, so it's quite hard to do. Don't forget to jump.
Ah.
He's after you, so stay over there. How about he doesn't come to me? He's got friends as well.
Someone's trying to drop a girder on us. I thought you could pick the girder up. That'd be great.
I think it was a game called Undercover Cops.
Yes. I remember that.
Beat him up. Picked up huge poles and logs and things.
Can I grab him?
Bosses are too tough to be grabbed. Oh. Yeah. Time it just right, you can get a hit in.
Oh, really? That's quite ambitious.
Oh. Elbow.
Got to gird on a child, that's not nice.
I think being criminals, they're not meant to be this. It's part of their job title.
Ow! So what's the story that's happening in Motion Justice? So we did get a cutscene at the beginning, which I didn't pay attention to.
Stories are not the reason for playing this, but it does have a story. So we're in Big Smoke City. A couple of cops plus a kid who's ambitions to become a cop, Ashley King, driving along. The hero of the radio, over the radio, The mayor's gone missing. I mean, it's a corrupt town. Everything's going to hell at this place. But the mayor's gone missing. Don't know what's going on. Everything's starting to kick off around the city. And then somebody on a overpass throws a huge flaming barrel at the car, destroys the car. You're in the wrong side of town, but you know, last two good cops on the force, plus the kid that was there for a ride along, decide to bring justice to the city and find out what's going on with the mayor.
I broadly agree with the sentiment that this kind of game is not about the story. Especially in the arcade days, the more story it had, the less game time you got. You want to be playing and, as I can say, push buttons, things happen. Basic thrill of a video game. Oh, stop hitting me.
I'll try and get him with the... I'll always go that. Jump move!
I'm gonna get him. I think. Yes.
One more time, then we'll...
Oh.
Get him with the bin.
Is it time?
I think so. Oh, he's gone for that again. Sorry, I was too busy paying attention to movement when I see movement.
Yes.
There we go.
Have that in. Salvage hunter.
That's the level one, but I think
That's
there's...
right, okay.
Did they both come up? I don't know, I haven't used Steam in a while.
Okay. Right, we've definitely got time for a little bit of brawl mode now.
Okay.
So there's 5 more stages. You've got a sneak peek of one of them here, but we're going to...
As you can see, they start getting quite long and involved from here on in. Excuse me.
Bless you. So a sneeze of justice.
Brawl mode.
Right, I'll be a different character now, I think.
Oh. Do you want to press?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nicky Rage is our other playable character.
I'll give out this time.
Fingers hurting yet, guys?
No, not at all.
We've been doing this our entire lives.
Have you got control of that?
It looks like I have. Right. So, stages on brawl mode. We've got Makin's bar. We've got
Circus.
The circus.
The junkyard. And the helipad.
And the helipad. I think the helipad is amazing.
Let's go for the helipad.
With this aggressive looking helicopter in the background. So, in a nutshell, what is brawl mode all about?
Brawl mode is one life. No continues, no credits, no extra lives, one life.
Okay.
Fight for as long as you can, survive as far as you can.
So probably not going to spam that special move too much.
No, you want to aim for rest as much as possible. Waves and waves of baddies. Ideally work together, find a rhythm. Rest as many people as you can to just keep the health on screen.
Okay.
And right now we don't need the health, but it might be just a good rhythm to get into.
There's someone there first. So stages are actually like double screen length, thereabouts.
Give or take, yeah. The stages are taken from parts of the story mode, with completely different sets of baddies and different style ways of baddies and different ways of playing. Ooh. Somebody needs health. Look at you. Let's give you some health.
Done him.
So the grapple attacks are a good way of stunning enemies.
There we go. Yes. It's a bit tricksy that that throw that Nikki has because it can land someone else in hot water. Wave 1 complete. Oh, and a burger slid towards me.
I tried to jump out of the way because you needed it more than me. The waves get increasingly more difficult.
And is it an unlimited number of waves or is there an end?
It's between 6 and 9 waves depending on the difficulty. This one I think is 9 waves, and some of the waves are boss waves, which are very difficult to achieve when you've got just the one life.
Oh. Got about
Health.
yes. Got about 10 minutes left, so if there's anyone watching on YouTube, drop us a comment or a question in the chat and we'll respond. There's dynamite there on the floor on the right, I think.
Keep out of the way.
And you can, if you're good enough, if someone throws dynamite at you, you can punch it back through the air. If you have a baseball bat, you can knock the dynamite flying. Which is very satisfying. Oh, accidentally dashed into that. Done. Chicken. What would a beat 'em up be without some chicken on the floor?
Sometimes you run it and know all the waves well.
Oh, I'm very close to losing a life. Stay in the way. It's over.
That was the burger just died. That was me over the top. That wasn't fair.
Right, we've got a few minutes left, so what might be fun is to try tough guy mode.
Yeah?
How do you feel about that?
Nervous on camera.
Let's have a look. Maybe we'll redo stage 2. I think stage 2 is a really fun one to do. So if we continue, yes, we can do tough guy mode.
But whether it unlocks stage 2, because...
Good point. Good point. Shall I be Rick?
Okay.
I haven't been Rick yet.
Mickey. So, do you want to press?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Good call.
So yeah, we have to start
Right.
again. The unlocks are within the difficulty.
That's only fair. And we've got different challenges now because we're on tough guy mode.
Yes. Tougher challenges.
Tougher challenges. Yeah. And skip that. You've seen it once. There's a rat on the floor.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Can you kick the rat?
Yes, I
Brilliant.
think I just kicked it back.
He's busted. That guy's kind of like a little tutorial enemy. sorry.
It's okay.
That's what happens on the streets, though. You can get caught up in the violence. So you were about to say, should we go for the challenge?
Yes, should we go for the bad cop?
Well,
good cop? But you know,
so
it's all.
dreamers.
If ever we were going for challenges, it's instant restarts. Just pause it straight back in.
That's when you know you're playing a good arcade game. When you get 30 seconds in and decide to restart because you've made a mistake. Ah.
They use the weapons as well.
Makin's bar, presumably named after yourself.
Yeah, I assume so. I mean,
You seem so.
we just well.
It
I
was
got
like
smart
that when we
work
got
and said, I hope you don't mind. Yours is you now own a CD bar.
Ah, so that wasn't your call.
No, no. The artwork comes to me, and I get to find out things as I see them, as it's implemented.
Question by Dark Scorpio, the answer to which might not be as simple as you'd originally think. Is the game inspired by Streets of Rage?
It's inspired by the genre as much as anything. There are plenty of inspirations that came from Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 2 especially is an absolutely stonking game.
It really is.
We'll all agree. Big fan of Final Fight, Vendetta, Punisher, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Captain Commando, Double Dragon, Renegade, if you want to go back a bit further.
Challenge failed.
Yes, the time challenges on Tough Guy are quite tough.
While we've got time, we should also talk about who else worked on this game with you.
So, development-wise, it was the three of us X-Rare guys, myself, Steve Burke on the audio, and Jay Howes on the artwork. And from the getting the game finished point of view, it was myself and my wife Anna that were making games, and were kind of making the game together.
It's must be very easy to come up with your studio name given your surname.
Yes, it's something we always joke that if ever I was to make a game, I'd have to make MakinGames.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think it would work with most lines of work.
Yeah. Making hot dogs.
Yeah. I assume there's a hot dog vendor,
Yes.
not a used car sale.
And Steve Burke on the music, of course, did music for another Team 17 published game.
Yes, he did.
Which is
some
Ukulele.
Ukulele, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Dave.
We're just collecting X-Rare employees. We'll have them all eventually. Help people make every game. Keep trying to grab him and... There we go.
I think we went through a few lives there.
Yeah.
And you definitely thrashed me with the score.
No arrests.
No,
Terrible. Shameful.
not very good cops.
No. Right, I think we should call that a day. Nick, thank you very much for coming in and playing a beat 'em up with me. I don't have many friends who will come and play beat 'em ups with me anymore, so this is a good way to spend my working hours. If you like what you see, stick around. Not on YouTube though. We're about to go into a Reddit AMA on r/Nintendo Switch. So if you've got a Reddit account, hop in there. Even if you don't have a Reddit account, come and see what's going on. Nick's going to be answering questions for the next couple of hours, primarily about the Nintendo Switch version of Raging Justice, but about all aspects of the game, really, in particular. Yeah. But if not, Raging Justice is out today on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, PC and Mac. And there's a 10% launch discount for this week. So it's just £8.99, which I think is an extremely reasonable price for a game like this. Anything else to add before we go, Nick?
No, just buy the game, please.
Just buy the game, for God's sake.
Please.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.